Brian McKnight. Brian McKnight just had a baby recently, and he decided to change his name to match the baby's name. Usually, it's the other way around.
Right.
But Brian decided to make his name the baby name, and he posted on Instagram. He says, "So proud to introduce my son." His son's first name is Brian, so that already matched. But what Brian changed his name to is the middle names. The son's name is Brian Kanoa Makoa. Knowing me, I'm butchering it. That's the name. Brian Kanoa Makoa McKnight. And,
all right, so why didn't they just name the baby after him? I don't understand. I'm confused.
Right. That's a very valid question. And instead, Brian decided to add the two middle names that they gave their son to his name legally. So now he is
to have that name.
Brian Kanoa Makoa McKnight Sr., and his son is the junior.
That's crazy. If he wanted that to be his name, he should just say so, right? Like, what? That makes no sense. You could have just named your son Brian McKnight. Like, what?
So
and then gave him the middle name.
What makes this a little more, like, I guess, scandalous in a sense is Brian has been in the blogs recently for disowning his adult kids. That's what's being alleged by his children themselves, that he's I don't know the full details on how he's doing it, but when this news broke that Brian changed his name to match the son's name, someone on Instagram said, "I feel so bad, and if I was Brian McKnight Jr., because he already has a junior, I changed my effing name. What a corny old ass man, shake my head. I'd be so upset to be at all attached." So Brian McKnight,
that's what I was like, don't say it.
Brian McKnight Jr. actually responded to that person and said, "I'm not ashamed of the name my ancestors had. I'll never change the name my own son now has. We are witnessing an obscene level of self-hate that has reached mental illness status at this point. All we can do is pray for that man and my new little brother, who we will all welcome with open arms one day, once he realizes who his real family is. Legacy isn't in the name, it's in the character of the people. It will all be quite clear soon, just who's on the right side of all of this, because there's no escaping what's coming." What's coming? What do you think of his son saying what he just said?
I think that's so foul. That's why I was like, please don't say it, because I was hoping that it ain't go there. Damn. That's messed up.
So it's like he's now is it safe to say Brian McKnight Jr. is no longer a junior? Because now Brian McKnight Sr. is legally Brian.
His junior is a junior.
Kanoa Makoa Senior.
His junior is a junior.
His junior is a junior, but he's not a junior. No.
Well, his name is Brian. What did he change his name to?
Which one? Senior?
Senior, yeah.
The singer, he changed his name to Brian Kanoa Makoa McKnight. He added the two
it's
middle
still
names.
Brian McKnight, though, at the end of the day.
But
it's just
juniors
name
have the full name as their dads.
Is that true?
It's true.
I
don't think you could skip some of the middle names or add more and still be a junior, in my opinion.
Why not?
I don't think you can. It got to be exact.
It
got to be exact. So do you think Brian,
at least the first and the last?
Do you think this was intentional, even more so to detach himself from his kids? Or do you think he just wanted to be like his son? I guess.
Well, at the end of the day, he knew the difference it was going to make in everybody's life. So, and he chose to still do it. So whether he was being malicious or not, it doesn't matter. He did it. and he didn't
True.
care how his kids felt. So basically, if he said, "Well, I'm going to change my name," and he doesn't no longer deserve to be a junior to me, that was malicious, and he did it anyway. And if he said, "Well, I would hate to not have my older son as a junior to me anymore, but I still do want to have this connection with my new son," he still decided to do it. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, man. So the internet is internet, and some are calling for a boycott of Brian McKnight's music. I don't know if are we there with it, but a lot of people are feeling like he's wrong for disowning his other children. Yeah. Someone even went as far as to say, I skip Brian McKnight's music right along with R. Kelly's at this point.
Oh boy, they acting that's you can't even compare. Okay, cut it out.
Someone said any woman that condones her man disowning his children ain't worth a damn.
Okay.
Someone said this is so weird, and the fact that his wife is okay with this is even more weird. That like he didn't already have a junior. I don't know. It's kind of messy. It's kind of tricky, but
it is.
Hey, at the end of the day,
we gotta hear him speak.
At the end of the day,
and then we decide from there.
They got his blood, and
right.
Maybe they're adults now, so I doubt there's any like Brian. Child support or anything like that. But
let's hear from Brian.
Yeah, let's hear from Brian. Kanoa McCoa Senior, McKnight Senior.
Before we decide to judge, where we have no right to judge, because it's not us, it's not our business.
This is true.
The media that's making it our business.
So. What a tangle web he weaved. Monique. We all know that Monique refers to her husband as daddy. It's not like new news. We all heard about it throughout the years. But Monique actually is now explaining why she calls her husband daddy. And she said, in a nutshell, he's raising her. She said, he's raising me. She said, my husband, my best friend, my brother, he's had all these hats. She said, and a lot of black women would say, why do you call him daddy? She said, because he's raising me. He's raising me. My father probably stopped giving me what I needed when I was around 13 years old. So now you got a woman that's 13, and now fast forward to when I'm 35, and now I got a bunch of money, what we consider to be a bunch of money. I'm taking care of everybody. She's like, who's gonna check me, boo? Who's gonna make me grow up? She said it was my husband that grew me up. And even at 55 years old, there are still times when he has to say, come on, let's talk. And I'm grateful for that because it makes me a better mother. It makes me a better friend. It makes me a better entertainer. So what do you think about Monique saying, or her reason why she calling her husband daddy and saying that he's raising her?
No, I just feel like if that's the technique that she wants to use, then okay. Like, what can I say? Everybody, how long has her marriage lasted?
She's been with him for a good while. I'm not sure exactly. But...
Okay, so it's obviously working for them. So whatever. If that's what she want to use, listen, I've always been the one to learn everything a different way from everybody else. And whatever works for me, works for me. Whatever works for you, works for you. And that works for them. So if that's what she want to use, and that's what she want to use, who am I to judge? I ain't been married for all them years. So what can I say?
I think for me, because it's not uncommon for couples to refer to their partners as daddy. Like, we've seen it. It's not like some like new thing. But I think for me, her explanation of why kind of changes things a little bit for me, because like normally when it's like you calling your partner daddy, it's more like
a sexual thing.
right? It's more like, yeah, it's a sexual thing, like dominance, like whether y'all actually having sex and you're like, yeah, come get this daddy or whatever, like it's more sexual. But to hear her explain that it's because he's raising her, it kind of changes things.
It sounds insane, but okay. But that's what works. That's what works for them. That's what works.
Because it's like, so it's not sexual. It's
right.
You're calling him daddy because he's teaching you things, he's showing you how to be a woman, etc. And yeah, I don't know. And do you still call him daddy in the bedroom too, in that way? Because then that, I don't know.
Sounds like some precious.
But yeah, and it is also, I want to add, interesting to hear her say the point of not having her own dad's love since she was 13. Because you hear people say that all the time about like having like daddy issues, or you know, their dad not being in their lives, so they look for that dad figure in their partners and stuff. So to hear her actually say that and admit that was very interesting as well.
Interesting.
But like you said, it's working for them. They've been married for 11 years. And hey, if it works, it works.
Right.
People out here calling their partners their nickname, pet name, government name, and it ain't working. So let that woman call her man daddy.
Daddy, do you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like some sausages?
Daddy.